Good afternoon. This is Jim Lowenstern, and this is another exciting episode of the Exponential Files podcast. And I have a great guest this afternoon, Julie Ahn from Houston, Texas. Actually, Katy, Texas, which is a suburb of Houston. And correct me if I'm wrong, Julie. Julie's with eXp Realty and has a really nice listing that we're going to be talking about today, among other things. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you so much, Jim, for having me. So my name is Julie Ahn. I am with eXp Realty. I've been with eXp Realty roughly about 5 years. Previously, I've been with KW, but eXp definitely is the place to be as an agent, beginner, new, just or even any other experienced agent, because they've got some really great tools and very great networking opportunities. This is how I met Jim. So very excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
So you were at KW. What do you think the biggest differences between the two companies?
For every new agent, they said that KW had the greatest beginners tool coaching there. But I beg to differ because I was there and I didn't feel like it was home. Starting as, a new agent years ago. And, we were hugs and kisses, but nothing that helped to expedite my business and get it up and running. So after a long soul searching, that I personally did on my own, found EXP through a friend, and her friend, she's from a title company. Her friend is actually, he has one of the largest teams here in Houston, Texas, called the Franklin team. And they are a family duo. So from running from the father, sister, and brother team, they're one of the largest here in Houston, Texas. Went through him and I just fell in love. He just explained it well, and I just felt like I finally found the brokerage that I wanted to be with, and I've been with them ever since. So still happy to be here.
Well, you're in their downline.
Yes, I'm in their downline.
So
No team. Yes.
well, you're actually on our team.
Oh,
We'll talk.
okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I came
So
through them.
the Castle's
Yes.
Unlimited
Yes.
team, we're a national team. We're
Yes.
in Texas now, and we're doing, of course, great things in Texas, right?
I see that. Yes, very. I'm excited.
Like this podcast and promoting your new listing.
Yes.
So Evan, why don't you run the video, and after we run it, Julie can talk a little about the house. Thank you. Wow, what a house. Look at
Mhm.
that. Look at that. So how much land does
It
does the house come with?
it sits on a little over an acre. Um, very woodsy area. It's in a neighbor off of in Spring. It's a town called Spring toward the Woodlands. Very very exquisite place. And it's growing rapidly. Though it's, a very well-known luxury area. It's further out north where it's very, in a wooded neighborhood. And people are custom building there all the time. But this one particular home was a very rare opportunity that the owners were able to work with the Perry Homes to customize it with her own design. So it's a little different from other standard custom builds.
And the price?
2.85.
2.85 million.
Yes.
And does that come with the furnishings as we see it, or is that extra?
That is negotiable. That's really up to the seller depending if they get the right price. Everything is negotiable, obviously, in real estate. So if they get the right price, definitely we can talk about that.
Okay, all right. So I see a swimming pool.
Yes.
I see a game room. That looks like it might be on maybe the third floor.
Second, it's a two-story home. Yes.
Oh, the second. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Because I saw the staircase. So that's like a second staircase
Yes,
that
there's
goes
two
up there.
staircases. Yes, one in the front entrance and one in the, I want to say, toward the back middle side of the home. Yes, leading
Okay.
up.
Any lower level, like a basement?
No, no basement. So in Texas, we don't have basements because of, in Texas, there's the land is
The high water table?
yes, we can't do basements from the grounds. It's
I remember a storm in Houston a few years ago. I think there was a lot of flooding.
yes. Oh,
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, you're probably talking about Harvey,
Yeah. Well,
Katrina, one of those. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
We've
Okay.
been hit with it quite a bit.
No, I'm the guy. I lived in Florida. The first time I went there, I asked where the basement was on the
Yeah.
first house I went to see.
But though we've had those weather changes, it's not like that everywhere. It's not as what it seems on TV or on the news or media. It's not all, they look at specific parts where it's prone to that, but not everywhere it's like that. So we're good.
Have you seen houses where, or I guess it would be a lot, where they bring in a lot of fill, build up the lot, then put in a foundation with a full lower level, and then build on top of it? Have you seen anything like that?
Are we talking about in that neighborhood or are we talking about
No, just in general.
certain areas just to raise the elevation a bit, but that could also be personal request,
Yeah,
just yes,
yeah. There's always a way to engineer it if you want it, I
of
guess.
course, definitely.
So let's talk about Houston as a place to relocate to. Did you grow up in Houston?
Practically. I was originally from Pennsylvania, but at a, very short period, moved over to Houston. So I have been here probably over 40 years.
Okay.
I am a Houstonian and been here all my life. I do have to say a lot of the major companies are moving over here, especially in the oil and gas. So we do have a lot of relocation people coming here. Why? Not only because of the big jobs, but it's very affordable to live here. And you get a lot of house, for the money compared to other places, especially West Coast and obviously the East Coast, which I did have quite a bit of clients that I've helped relocate over here to Houston, especially with new builds.
So that house we just saw, how many square feet is it?
7,500.
And is that 7,500 heated and air conditioned? And then the
Yes,
garage is separate?
garage is separate.
Okay.
Yes, it was a custom built. The seller designed the home. This is her probably 11th home, but she designed the home. Every piece picked out, all the upgrades and just put some personal touches on the home. So it's very different from all the other homes in that neighborhood.
Want to ask about the roof. Is that a tile roof or a metal roof?
Spanish style tile. Yes.
It is tile. Okay.
Yes, but very heavy They used from what I know, they use top quality tile, Spanish style, so it's a very heavy material.
So
I know,
this is more like a porcelain or a stone as opposed to a fiberglass
yes,
or a metal, because
because
they.
they special picked and handpicked those specific tiles for the roof. He said it was a lot heavier than the typical, like you said, typical
Well, it's on an
blank.
asphalt.
Yeah.
Yeah, asphalt. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and that's a much more durable roof
Yes.
and more expensive to install for
Yes,
sure.
very, very. And once again, just because they were able to handpick all their upgrades and all the material for the homes, they did use the highest quality. Spent more money, thinking they were going to be there a lot longer. But
So how old is the house?
the house was built in 2015, so not quite 9 years. Yeah,
Okay.
not quite 9 years. But it's actually practically never been lived in because they travel so much. Because they have homes in other states. They have one in Florida that they go to very often. But they travel, I want to say, 10 months out of the year. And it's just two retirees. And they've got children that they're always over at their homes because they have grandchildren. So basically the house is pretty much new, brand new.
Did we talk about bedrooms and baths?
There's 6 baths, they're all en suite. Sorry, 6 bedrooms and 6 baths, 2.5 bath. Half baths are one upstairs, one downstairs. Almost all the rooms are practically master bedrooms. Except obviously the primary, which is relatively much larger. The primary has 2 walk-in closets, dual showers, double sinks, very roomy. They've got several entrances out to the backyard. In fact, they have quite a bit of entrances to the backyard. I want to say about 4 different exits out to the backyard that
Any
leads.
bedrooms on the first floor?
Yes, so we have 3 bedrooms downstairs and 3 bedrooms upstairs.
Okay, all right. And I noticed there's sort of like a covered patio.
Yes, so that is over 2,000 square foot of covered space, which is one of the largest. When I did an open house, we got a lot, and we just did this, but got a lot of compliments on how much covered space, covered patio there was compared to other homes, because they don't cover the whole entire backyard. Whereas here they start from the outside kitchen all the way to the other side of the backyard, which leads to a little sitting area right outside of the master bedroom. So we're looking at over 2,000 square foot of space.
So I imagine even in the hottest weather,
Yes,
having that cool shaded area outside is fantastic.
fantastic. And it's all, they've got outside ceiling fans throughout the covered patio. The outdoor kitchen is fully equipped. And you can see that huge bar that leads all the way across throughout pretty much the whole kitchen space. They've got a outside TV and outside sitting, they've got the grill, the kitchen, a little mini stove, refrigerator, sink, and a huge bar. They've got multiple sitting areas just for relaxation outside of the outdoor kitchen. The pool is actually a design that she pulled from a resort in Mexico that she was at. She came back and, pulled that same design. There is a water bar inside the pool. And
Wow.
then there's a dipped area where the water bar, and then there's an outside bar that you can actually sit. So the swimming pool patio actually dips down to another lower ground level, where they can sit, like it's a bar from the outside of that to the inside of the pool. I know it's a little hard to, explain, a little, hard to understand, but
No, it sounds amazing.
very
So
uniquely
so
designed.
so you can be in the pool, mix some
Yes,
drinks, you can have your entire party in the pool.
yes. And right outside, there's a separate sitting for that. Mind you, there's also a small, actually, there's another separate area for the fire pit as well on the other side of the pool.
Okay. Well, you're right. In certain areas, certainly my neighborhood, if you had a house like that, it would probably be
Yes,
it could be twice as much
yes,
actually.
yes.
So
So the price that, for that design and the size is relatively, I mean, the feedback that I'm getting is, and like I said, it was recently where I've really exposed it and got feedback is it's priced pretty well for all the upgrades that the house does have. They just put a brand new, I want to say probably one of the largest generators I've ever seen, that if we did have any storms or the lights tend to go off, then within seconds, the house will be generated with AC, air, lights. I mean, you can have a full running house for up to 15 days with that generator. And it's
whoa.
brand new. Yes, they just put that in. In the backyard, they've got another sitting area. They've got multiple sitting areas. They had a little garden in the back in a corner tucked away. You've got two separate outdoor detached garages, oversized, and an oversized carport. And then there's a courtyard right in the middle between those two garages facing each other.
Okay, so how many cars can be in the garages?
Total 4 cars from the two garages, but in the middle court, you've got a big enough area where you can park several cars. And then obviously, as you can see in the picture in the video in the front, it's a circular driveway that can also put multiple cars in there.
So I mean, obviously this is a custom built house.
Yes.
In that neighborhood, are there other custom built houses, or is this one like head and shoulders above everything around there?
I believe this is a head and shoulders above all, because the other homes that are being custom built are more the standard built. Though they say there's two different ways to look at it. I mean, I've worked with custom built and I've worked with standard custom built. And I know that sounds a little confusing, but custom built meaning that you can design it. She's actually worked with Perry Homes, but she designed it, picked her own pieces, picked her, literally,
So no
how
one
she
else
wanted
has
the.
that floor
Yes,
plan.
nobody has that floor
That's a
plan.
one of a kind house.
One of a kind home that nobody else can duplicate that, because she personally designed it herself and she picked out all the material for her home. Whereas the other homes, they have a builder that has a standard built and they can go in there and pick out some of the material, some colors, some designs, but they're not designing the floor. That I know of, nobody has that floor plan at all. They can't duplicate that.
So materials, obviously top of the line, everything. Heating is what kind of fuel?
They're all central. They're all central gas.
Is it natural gas or is it propane?
Natural gas.
Natural gas. So it's
Yes.
actually a pipe coming in from the street.
Yes. And yes.
I think Texas probably has no problem having natural gas.
No, they don't.
You actually probably supply most of the country.
Yeah, we probably do.
What you do have to worry about is your electric grid, because you're so separate from the rest of the country. When
Yes.
the
And
snowstorms and ice storms, I think, and that's why you have the generator.
so yes, we do have the generator. I want to say in that neighborhood, they don't get hit too bad where it's too long. So a lot of the newer homes now in Texas, just so people know, they are building the grids underground, which significantly helps when there's a storm coming by. They won't experience all that. It's just homes that are relatively a little older where the grids are up above ground is where, if we just got unlucky, gets hit, and that's where we get cut off.
So what do you love about Houston? When someone is thinking of relocating, they could relocate anywhere. Why are they going to move to Houston?
Well, one, I can definitely say the affordability will really help, because the number one thing that I ask all my clients that come from the West Coast, East Coast, anywhere outside Florida, I ask what they like most about Houston, and they love the fact that they can get more house for their money. They've got more a suburb area where they've got more land for their children. So it's great for families, because one, affordability is great because you can own so much more land and home for your little kiddos, right? So it's a great place to start a family. Two, it's relatively safe here. And like I said, a lot of families that want to, a lot of couples that want to start a family would love to come to Houston and start that, especially in the suburb areas where it's being, newly developed. Everything is brand new. And then not to mention schools, or one of the top schools here in Texas, all around, actually nationwide. We've got some of, some fantastic schools. Some of the schools that we call, even though they're public schools, we call them private public schools because they're so competitive and so highly rated. So a lot of people come here because of the schools as well, to raise a family and send them to, excellent schools, school systems. And based out of the education here, we're seeing a lot of students, graduate and go off to some Ivy League schools and some really great, even though they're not Ivy League schools, they can get into some really great universities. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I feel.
What are the taxes like on a house like that?
Taxes are pretty low, especially in Katy. Surprisingly, we've got lower taxes, but I can't say we can, obviously we're definitely not where California is, where that's the one thing that they're seeing different here is we have higher taxes than they do, but obviously it offsets the cost of the homes. So the lower the homes here, you're going to pay a little more taxes here than
So what are
the West
do you
Coast.
know ballpark?
We're looking at 2 to 3%, 3 point.
So what is it a year? Dollars.
If we're talking in my neighbor average, we're looking at about 7,000 to
Okay. That's
yeah, with 10,000 average.
so that house
Obviously the
is
bigger
about
home.
10,000 a year?
No, this one's gonna be a lot more just because of the size of the home. The price that I was giving you was more of a, I want to say,
Well, let's talk about that house. What's the
yeah,
taxes
this one
there?
we're looking at about 25,000.
Oh, okay.
Yes. The tax rate's low, but it's just, I mean, we're looking at under 2%, but still, it's just the size of the home and the acreage, being in the woodlands. Woodlands is a very highly, I want to say sought after area. And
You
it's
have
very
sales
luxury.
tax in Texas?
I'm sorry?
Sales tax in
Yes.
Texas? And income tax, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, you're like my state. Tax everything.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But your fuel costs might be a little bit lower.
We're looking at $3 to $4. I don't know what you guys are looking at.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about?
Besides the fact that it's a grand luxury neighborhood, we've, lots of land, separation from a lot of other homes, practically all the homes are custom built in that neighborhood, very sought after. When you go into that area itself, it just feels like you're in the country, but you're not very far from the city. And the setting of it is beautiful. You're just in like a suburb country setting where you feel like you've actually traveled outside of Houston, though we're not that far away. And everybody has their own peace and tranquility of, nestled in a little area of their own selves, just kind of like not too far away from each other, but enough space where you feel like you've got your own peaceful, sanctuary.
And it's turnkey. I mean,
Yes,
someone
it's
could
turnkey.
just absolutely move into that, just bring
It
their
is
clothes and
ready,
toothbrush.
been cleaned, it's been updated again. Once again, even though it's a brand new home, practically, that's hardly been lived in, they've went in there and they put some even, more finishing touches to it. It's in fabulous condition. It's in great condition. It's ready to move in.
And even when they build those custom homes, they don't come with swimming pools like that.
No, they don't. That's one thing actually that if a lot of times, and the price of the pools have gone up, by the way.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they don't have that kind of pool. They'll have the standard pool and you have to, significantly, pay a lot more for the pool, but she's customized that pool very different from any other pools. And so you've got everything ready. You've got the pool, you've got the outdoor kitchen, you've got the generator, you've got already, she've actually landscaped it well enough to cover more, more of her piece of land to give more of a privacy kind of a section.
It's almost priced too low. Like people are saying, well, what's
Yes,
going on here?
yes.
I don't understand the correlation between what you're getting and what you're paying.
If
So
you step in, you will see that. You will
yeah,
see that the price can't beat it.
yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you, Julie. Thank you for coming on the show. That's a great, what's the address? Did we mention the address?
Yes, the address is 27603 Little Fox Crest, Spring, Texas 77386. And it's close by the Woodlands, which is a very sought after area, beautiful place to go visit. So please, anybody and everybody.
And if they want to contact you, how
My
do they
name is
get in
Julie
touch?
Ahn.
How do they
My
get in
number,
touch?
yes, my number is 832-330-1253. My email is julie.ahn.realty@gmail.com, and I am with eXp Realty, and I'd love to assist anyone that would be interested.
Okay. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much.
I'm Jim Lowenstern. This has been another great episode of the Exponential Files. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.